Every irrigation system starts with one essential piece, the water source. It might seem like a basic decision, but the type of water you use can impact everything: the system design, the components you choose, and even your maintenance routine down the road. Today we're going to break down the most common types of water sources and what you need to know to plan for them. There are four main types of water sources we use in irrigation. Potable water, that's your drinking water, usually from the city. Reclaimed water, treated wastewater. Surface water, think lakes, ponds, or canals. And subsurface water, which we tap into with wells. Each one has its own quirks, costs, and code requirements, so it's important to match your system to the source from the start. Potable water is the most common source we see. It's the same water that comes out of your faucet. It's treated, safe for drinking, and usually provided by a city or private utility. Most systems that use potable water have a water meter, and in some cases there are 2 meters, one for the building and one just for irrigation. That's actually helpful because it can keep you from being charged sewer fees on outdoor water use. Now, even though potable water is clean and reliable, it's not always the most affordable. Some cities use tiered billing, meaning the more you use, the more you pay per gallon. And don't forget, everything between the distribution pipe and the start of your main line matters. Filters, isolation valves, backflow prevention, they all impact pressure, flow, and how your system performs. So potable water is a solid, dependable option. Just make sure to factor in those costs and components during planning. Reclaimed water is a great option when it's available. It's non-potable, meaning it's not for drinking, but it's treated well enough to be safe for irrigating landscapes. You'll recognize systems using reclaimed water because they're marked with lavender or purple. That includes valve boxes, pipes, sprinkler heads, even signage. It's usually cheaper, but the catch is that it might not always be available. You could be limited to certain days or hours, and outages can happen, especially when demand is high. Also, water quality varies. Some reclaimed water contains sediments or salts, so filtration might be needed to protect your plants and equipment. Surface water, like lakes, ponds, or canals, can be a convenient and scenic source, but it comes with its own challenges. You'll need a pump and usually some filtration. Water levels can change a lot due to drought, storms, or seasonal use. And if they drop too low, you risk sucking up sediment. Algae blooms, runoff, and stirred up bottom muck can also mess with your system. So surface water requires a little more attention, but it can be a cost-effective option if you plan for it. When we talk about subsurface water, we're really talking about wells. There are 2 kinds: deep wells, where the pump is down inside the well, and shallow wells, where the pump sits up on the surface. The big factor here is the yield, or how many gallons per minute the well can provide. That affects your pump size, your zone layout, and how long your system runs. Like other sources, well water can have sediment, iron, and minerals that stain or clog components, so testing and filtration may be necessary. And of course, you'll need electrical power for that pump to run. No matter what your source is, there are a few things you'll always want to check. Do you have enough flow and pressure for your system to work properly? Will you need filtration or treatment? Is power available when it's needed, especially for pumps? And what are the local permitting or inspection requirements? These questions should be answered early, before design, before installation, to avoid costly surprises later. Let's talk dollars, because your water source affects more than just design. It impacts what the system will cost to run over time. If you're using potable water, you'll often see tiered pricing. The more water you use, the more expensive it gets per gallon. And if the irrigation water is tied to your building's meter, you might get charged sewer fees, even though that water never goes down a drain. Separate irrigation meters are becoming more common, especially in new developments, and they can help avoid some of those extra charges. Reclaimed water sometimes is cheaper with flat monthly rates, but not always. Some utilities charge as much as potable water, depending on how it's treated. Then there's pumped water sources, like wells or surface water. These require extra equipment: pumps, pressure tanks, controls, and electricity. You've got to consider maintenance and replacement costs over time. And if your water needs filtration or treatment, say for iron, sediment, or salt, that adds more cost to both installation and long-term upkeep. So when choosing a water source, don't just think about access, think about what it will cost to run the system month after month. Let's talk regulations. Every water source has its own set of rules, and they vary a lot by location. You might see watering restrictions like odd, even address rules, day of week limits, or even time of day bans like no watering between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. One constant is backflow prevention. If your system connects to a potable source, you'll almost always need a backflow device to protect the water supply. Some places even require it for wells or reclaimed systems. So before you break ground, make sure you know what's required in your area. Let's wrap it up. Your water source sets the tone for your entire system. So choose the right source for your site, understand the available flow, pressure, and quality, plan for costs and code compliance, and always design with the source in mind. That's how you build a system that lasts and keeps your plants, your wallet, and your local regulators happy.